This is your weekly trip to paradise, Louisiana style, with Gary Risponi. Paradise, Louisiana is brought to you by Circle K, Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change, Louisiana Fish Fry Products, Demco, CCA Louisiana, and the CCA Louisiana Star Tournament, and by Farm Bureau Insurance.
Welcome to this week's edition of Paradise, Louisiana. Here we're coming from the home of CCA, Louisiana. Mr. Brad Thatcher. Brad, you had a pretty busy weekend yourself.
I did, man. I was down in Grand Isle for the annual Swole Fest, and as the weighmaster, got to see a bunch of fish eventually come in later in the weekend, so I had a busy time.
It was a lot of partying, a lot of food. Everything was good, the typical Swole Fest. Raised a lot of money. I saw the nuns from the Lady Lake Hospital, the Franciscan nuns. They were very tickled what went on. They had their T-shirts on. They were out there working like everybody else. So I always enjoy Swole Fest to watch the teamwork and the way they did. It's unbelievable that volunteers and the work that go in, and then the committee. You want to commend them for getting these volunteers together and putting it together, but they out there working themselves. I saw Nick moving tables, moving chairs.
Hey, look, here's the deal. I throw tournaments for a living. We all know that. I go to a lot of tournaments that we don't throw. One of the best tournaments on the coast is Swole Fest. And the reason is because of the volunteers they have. Between Nick as the leader, but truly Tricia runs the show behind the scenes, and she has an incredible committee and an incredible group of volunteers. It is a well-greased machine.
She got a tremendous battery and a great personality.
She doesn't stop, and neither does Katie Ruiz and the 20 other people that help out year-round for Swole Fest, but also the day of the tournament, the dental students and Brant and Nick and all those guys, Buddy Etheridge. Look, without all of them, it doesn't happen, and it truly makes for a great event.
We're going to come back and visit. After 3 days, 3 or 4 days, I can take all the footage you want. We can have people all there, but you can't cover it all. But you might see it through the next couple of weeks. We might revisit some things, so we'll show you that. But the big deal today, we got you with a star update. They were coming in and we're really disappointed with all the people know about Star, and we had a few people bringing fish that could have been on the board.
We did, and it happens every year, and we'll talk about that as well as when you're fishing these other tournaments, you need to be fishing Star at the same time.
Yeah. Also, I made a trip, and it's another one of them things I just couldn't cover it all. It just blew me away. I went to the Cajun Heritage Festival. The Decoy Festival, probably one of the biggest ones in the South, and it was at the Rose Civic Center, and it was packed. The cars in the parking lot, and I'm trying to take some video, just see some of the gorgeous work they do, and some of the prizes from amateurs to kids to everybody else, people carving. Somebody said, when you going to start carving? Man, I don't have the patience. I don't know if I could ever do that. So we're going to see that. We got a tournament report, news report, and best thing yet, fishing report. So stay tuned. You're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
I'm Brett Favre. As a quarterback in the NFL, if I didn't stay focused, I ended up on my back or worse. Even the smallest distraction could make a good play or offensive drive come to an end. When you're in a car, the smallest distraction could end much more than a drive. It could end someone's life. Just like I refuse to lose on the field, I refuse to lose someone I love to distracted driving. And you should too. Focus on the road. Don't drive distracted. A message from Farm Bureau Insurance.
You are watching Paradise on Louisiana, down on the bayou. Woo-hoo! Hi, I'm John Jackson, and you know we always say we gather our groceries out the bayou. Whether it's freshwater, saltwater, catfish, redfish, you have tons of choices when it comes to fish in Louisiana. But when I fry fish, there's only one choice, and that's Louisiana fish fry. My new favorite, the Cajun fish fry, has the perfect amount of cornmeal, corn flour, and the perfect mix of spices that really bring the heat. Hey, if you're craving Cajun, go look for the bright red bag at your local grocers. Bring home the taste of Louisiana with Louisiana Fish Fry.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. Mr. Red Thrasher, you have so many titles. I remember I used to be president of the Star Tournament and then the director of development. And tell me what your title is, actually.
Utility player.
Utility player.
No, I'm the director of development and Star Tournament director.
Okay. You're around a lot. You're another one of them. I like to know where y'all get that battery or what you own. You don't want some of them power drinks?
No, I can't do that. I don't know, but that battery's getting weaker and weaker as I'm getting older and older. I think I'm in 15 years here, so it's taking a toll.
Before we get to the Star Report, I got to tell you, you're training Conrad right. I hope Chris can pick these out. I don't know how many people held that baby. I know how many times you held a baby. Everybody. He started, either sleeping or his eyes wide open. I've never heard him whimper one time in 2 days.
Look, we have been blessed. He's healthy. He acts right. And he's obviously getting thrown to the wolves by going to Swole Fest. He was a junior weighmaster apparently.
I saw his shirt. I think I took a picture of that shirt. But he's very attractive, and he brings a lot of people, especially women. But I seen them big old burly guys all holding that little baby. I think he weighed up 9 pounds now, huh?
Yeah, I think he was the first thing that hit the Swole Fest scales at 9.44 pounds, which, the way I looked at it, man, that'd have been a trophy trout.
That's it. CCA, Star update.
So the Star Tournament, as you know, it all kicked off on Memorial Day weekend. The biggest news is the first tag redfish was caught by Nicholas Varnado from Folsom. Caught it over in the Hopedale area. He'll be going through the polygraph and all that stuff actually this week, but I fully expect him to take home the brand new Chevy Silverado at the Star Banquet. We also had another tag redfish caught by Jeremy Domain over from Sulphur. He caught it in Big Lake. Jeremy used to be a Star member, said he hadn't fished salt water in 2 or 3 years, so he hadn't registered, decided spur of the moment to go down with a buddy and go fishing, and sure enough, he caught a tag redfish. Now, the beauty of Jeremy is he knew what it was, and so he put it back. So there's still 99 swimming as far as we know, and only one potential winner.
He missed a chance to run a big RV, huh?
Yeah, that would have been a 35-foot RV from Bent's RV, or a 35-foot travel trailer. Neat package. It's the first time we've ever offered that this year, so it's still up for grabs, as well as 3 21 Nautic Stars and 5 Gator Tail boat motor and trailer packages.
I saw a lot of fish coming in scales, and last week at the Catholic Rodeo, they had some 13. Mr. Rudy and them and his boy Feliciana, they always known for catching big ones. They had one come in 13 pounds. I'm talking about mangrove snapper. I'm getting ahead of myself. But what have been the most surprising fish so far in that first week?
Well, I think the most surprising thing is actually that 13.2-pound mangrove snapper that Eric Valenciano caught. He brought it in at the Catholic High Rodeo, won that rodeo with it, and it's on the leaderboard, mangrove. And then the other surprising thing is that we haven't had a monster trout weighed in. Usually, especially on the west side of the state, that first couple weeks is the frenzy of big trout. Right now, we've got a 6-pounder on the board, but if you look at past history, that doesn't win anything. Even in the southeast.
But look at this weather we done had. Storms after storms coming from the west, from Houston, Texas. So, the west is getting beat up. I'm not getting any fishing reports from Big Lake.
Look, all I'm hearing is, there's a pocket in West Cove that has some clean water, and there's a very small pocket on the east side that has some clean water. And they are catching fish and doing well. I know Kevin Ford and a few others were over there last week with the pose. But,
What about the kayak fisherman come?
Huh?
He didn't rest there. He's from Bay St. Louis, but he was fishing in the bay. It's
Well,
amazing.
you know, it
You
was.
caught that fish at night.
I want to hear the whole story about it, but look, a lot of people questioned it. But when you have 25-mile-an-hour winds, the guys in the kayak, it evens the playing field. And so what Gary's talking about, you'll see in the Swolefest report, there were some great trout brought in the kayak division of Swolefest. But besides that, we've got some great fish on the board, like Charles Gordon, who won the Catholic High tournament with a 5.8. He's leading the east side of Star. Now, and it brings up an important point. So, catches the fish in Venice, brings it to Catholic High to win that rodeo in Fouchon. But it's where that fish was caught. So, it's still sitting in the east part of Star, not in the southeast. And so, I encourage all of you, look, make sure if you're fishing both tournaments, you weigh your fish for Star first, just in case, for example, at Swolefest, we clip the tail. You can't have a mutilated fish for Star. So, bring it to the scale first, to the weigh station first, and then bring it into the tournament, and make sure you register for both. That fish can win multiple tournaments, and we don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, and like you were saying too, with the Star right here going on, but you getting ready to have another influx of tournaments. You're gonna have the Fall Pie, the Grand Isle Rodeo, this and that. They have rodeos. I got that in the rodeo and tournament report too. There's so many tournaments going out that you can do both.
Absolutely, but chances are all of these big tournaments, in the small ones too, are at weigh stations for Star. So go into the marina first, then bring your fish to the tournament scale that you're fishing that weekend. That way you're all set and there's no questions. But besides that, the trout, we've got some good ones in that mid-5 range, low 6s, depending on what part of the state you're in. Other than that, there's nothing really locked up. Kayak has a 3.5 pounder on the board, Lance Burgess, who's no stranger to the Star board, but 3.5 doesn't lock it up. The only other division I see that's going to be really tough to beat is our buddy Chaz Champagne put a 9.22 sheepshead on the board in the sheepshead east. So sheepshead and mangrove, they're going to be tough to beat. But other than that, I think you're looking at a wide open tournament.
Yeah, some of them old timers. Ed Sexton had some things at the Catholic High Rodeo. I mean, they might have made him on the leaderboard Star. He, like I said, got a long way to go.
Well, don't forget Charles Gordon is his grandson.
Yeah.
So Ed's still around, and like I said, there are people catching fish, but the west side has been really muddy with a bunch of fresh water and wind. East side is dealing with the same thing, and so I think the playing field is going to be even. No telling what's going to happen the rest of the summer.
What about offshore?
Offshore, like I said, mangrove is we have a really good fish. Red snapper is leading, is a 25.5, which is an incredibly good red snapper. Is it going to hold up? I wouldn't think it would, but we'll see. You never know.
25 is pretty good. I didn't see nothing 20 pounds come in at Swolefest.
Well, no, but they were 6-foot seas. Look, they even canceled multiple tournaments along the coast last weekend. So a lot of people didn't go off. We've got some good cobia at 65 and 67. Chris Dewey caught those. But once again, if you look at in history, chances are it's a 70, 80, even low 90-pound cobia usually takes stars. So nothing's locked up. We're only, 3 weeks in, and we got a long way to go.
Good. We're going to come back. We're going to have a little bit more of this report. They're doing the whole show, but things going to come up. Brad and them staying very busy. We're going to come back. We're going to start at Swolefest.
Fish like a fanatic with the latest generation of Revo. Built on corrosion resistance and comfort. World-class adventure awaits with Revo. Abu Garcia for life.
Benny's Unlimited Wash Club memberships start at $14.99 a month. Wash, rinse, and repeat every day. Join Benny's Unlimited Wash Club at one of Benny's 7 locations.
The perfect event calls for the perfect spread of authentic Cajun cuisine. And Catering Cajun has the planners, packages, and chefs to ensure your event is long remembered. For weddings, corporate lunches, or anything in between, give us a call.
Tell me about a little bit more about Swolefest. What's a soup sandwich? Huh?
Look,
Southside Cafe, them volunteers and their cooks, boy, they bring out some groceries, don't they?
Look, they do with the help of all the Martian Bayou boys. But look, as far as the feeling and the mood and the vibe, there's nothing better than Swole Fest. And the Soup Sandwich Boys, you kind of set the tone for the weekend.
Well, we got a big tournament coming up. We talking about the Grand Isle Rodeo, same way at the Fall Pie in Venice. Those are two big parties too, and the Big Daddy Grand Isle Rodeo been going on so long. Swole Fest is a fucking family, kids, everywhere, kids fishing in the boat, all over the landing, wearing their fish in. It just does my heart do good to watch these families.
Look,
families.
It does everybody's hearts good, and that's why we all participate. I mean, look, people are begging Nick and Tricia to let them help because it's such a good event. And like I said, it's the vibe. It is competitive, and there's some great fish weighed in, but it is much more about what it's all about, giving back to the community, donating to Children's Hospital at Lady Lake, as well as honoring these kids.
Scholarships, right there at Grand Isle.
Going to Record Buck, you name it. It is just one of the coolest things to be a part of.
We're gonna bring you that this year. We did it with Eric Searcy. Mm-hmm. Y'all saw what they did for him, and he was there, and all the former winners and the people that won in the Special Heritage Awards. So these kids, they started. We didn't said it 100 times, so I guess I shouldn't have, but these boys come from Jesuit, they were at LSU and working, and they go to Grand Isle, and they started this thing 22 years ago. They still got their energy, they still got it. So let's go visit. We'll visit the weigh-in and visit some of the people bringing in fish, the kids, the food, and the dancing. And I hope when we go out, Chris LeBlanc, he had Purple Rain when he went out on Friday night. It is amazing to see old people, young people, everybody singing and dancing, and knowing they had to go fishing again next day.
Including you.
Oh, yeah. When it comes to dancing and Zydeco music, you better believe I'll be around. Let's go see more of Swole Fest 2019.
Go. Well, welcome to the second day of Swole Fest. Gary Risponi showed up, so did the Black Cloud, and it is raining and windy. Weigh-in's going to start here in about 5 minutes, and we'll see who was brave enough to handle the conditions today, but the party will go on. We're going to be under the Tarpon Rodeo Pavilion later tonight with a good band, a lot of good food, so check us out and check out all the fish that are going to come in the next couple hours.
You're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
Hold up one second. Tell me your name, where you from?
I'm Trace, and I'm from Louisiana, Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge? Where you go to school?
Oak Grove.
Boy, that's a beautiful fish. What you caught it on?
Shrimp.
Brett Lemoyne from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Where were you fishing today?
We're fishing at 121, I think, right there, about 50 miles. Pretty rough.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, beat us up pretty good.
What was the best bait today?
Pardon me?
What was your best bait?
It was, they like the squid more than the hardtails or anything else, pogies, anything, so squid.
Tell me your name and where you from.
Carolyn Vosberg, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Jaco, tell me where y'all were fishing and
tell us exactly where we were.
Well, West Delta and Mississippi Canyon.
What was the best bait y'all fished?
Best bait was probably squid and cut up hardtails.
Good catch for as rough as it was. How bad was it?
It was bad.
Change. I'm Mary, and I'm from Belchase, Louisiana.
What's your last name?
Phillips.
Where you caught that big fish? You know what, Rick?
West Delta block.
West Delta.
How much you weigh?
17 even.
17
just up there.
We're not gonna make third place is 17.5 though, so we just missed out.
Good job.
Yeah.
Mark Kramer from Covington, Louisiana.
Hero on the water. Thank you.
Louisiana.
One more time.
Raleigh Berg from New Orleans, Louisiana.
How much?
13.1.
That's good. That's a big one.
I fished at nighttime. Biggest fish I caught during daylight hours was about 2 pounds at the most. It's at nighttime with live croakers in about 8 feet of water. It's my best stringer ever from a kayak. I've caught bigger in a boat, but that's my best ever on a kayak.
It's the best I've seen around here in a long time.
Had a good day.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Julie Grinwald. And I'm Judy Campbell. And we're with Hunters for the Hungry, Louisiana. We're here at Swole Fest 2019, gathering fish donations that all these anglers have been so generous in donating to our program. For more information, visit www.h4hla.org.
She said, "Welcome to the family. You're going to get sucked in." And she couldn't be more right. Swole Fest has become a family. They gave it a record of Ranch. All the folks at Red Republican become a family over the last 7 years. It's just an amazing thing that Swole Fest and everything Nick has put together. So thank you, Nick, for everything you've done for me and what this means to me. And it's the least I can do to donate this crawfish bowl. Jason Sims.
I don't like people to thank me for my service. I'll tell you why. When I look out here and I see y'all with them good boats and them nice trucks pulling them, and y'all getting them fishing trips in and y'all enjoying life, all the injuries I incurred, all the time away from home, that is thank you to me seeing y'all live that great life in the state of Louisiana.
For the thirsty, for those who hang out in packs, for heroes, for sidekicks, for those who see the glass half empty, for those who see it half full, for those on the right, for those on the left, for those with nicknames, for those with curves, for people that cycle, for people that recycle, for BFFs, for frenemies, for those with style, for lovers, for families, for big families, for everyone.
Fish like a fanatic with the latest generation of Revo. Built on corrosion resistance and comfort. World-class adventure awaits with Revo. Abu Garcia for life.
Benny's Unlimited Wash Club memberships start at $14.99 a month. Wash, rinse, and repeat every day. Join Benny's Unlimited Wash Club at one of Benny's 7 locations.
The perfect event calls for the perfect spread of authentic Cajun cuisine. And Catering Cajun has the planners, packages, and chefs to ensure your event is long remembered. For weddings, corporate lunches, or anything in between, give us a call.
You know about the Cajun heritage? You know our Cajun heritage anyway, huh?
I do. I know enough, but unfortunately I was at Swole Fest, so.
Yeah, but I was too.
You cover some ground, man. We all know that. You cover a lot of ground.
I try to anyway. You know, I'm jack of all trades and I'm not too good at any one thing. I don't know what I can tell you. You know, I've been around Joe Macalusa, you and Don Dubuque and all those guys, KD, and, you know, all these guys that got these TV shows, they're so much better, and they're so professional, you know, but what you see is what you get.
That is for sure.
And when it got something to do with Cajun heritage, Italian American rodeo, I love being there. I don't know if y'all enjoy it. Maybe y'all get tired of seeing this, but I wish I could have stayed there the whole time and let y'all see some of this work. I took my camera, might be a little shaky, but I showed you the crust of what definitely what this is. And it's mostly about wood carving. The heritage decoy contest, decoy carvers from all over. And you know, we've been doing it 17 years and we've covered. Joe covered the one over there, you know, in the Pontchartrain Center before. And I've covered the one at the, you know, the Duck Festival, and they always got people over there carving and showing their wares. But from ducks, fish, birds, what you believe? A hummingbird. You imagine what it takes? And then they do miniatures. They're making little pins, carving miniatures. It's just amazing. Then they had paintings, people with paintings, people with, I didn't see any mounts, but everything there was usually on with wood. The ribbons all over them. I walked through the whole thing, saw the queens, you know. The whole time there, some of my interviews you might not be able to hear because they had raffles going on. They were selling. I'm talking about things bringing $2,000 and $3,000. They had a set of decoys that lady wanted, 6 decoys, old ones. I thought I was going to buy one. What is this? I ain't seen a price. She said, well, we're not selling them by itself, but guess what? She said, this one right here is $5,000 for that one little set. So,
well, check it
let's
out.
go to Cajun. Heritage Festival in La Rose, Louisiana.
The best part about being a member of a Touchstone Energy Cooperative is that it's your Touchstone Energy Cooperative. That's the power of your co-op membership.
Demco, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
my neighbor Tony, he looked at me and said, "Man, you're crazy. You're about to leave out in this weather." And I said, "Sir, I have a tag fish to go catch."
I won this beautiful boat catching a tag redfish in Venice, Louisiana.
There's 100 redfish waiting. It all starts Memorial Day weekend. Sign up today.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana, and Rodeo and Tournament Report. You seen when we went on a Swole Fest. They had another one going on. We didn't get any reports from the cutoff rodeo. It was down at Moran's, but there was another one that came up. Just took over the Redfish Cup. They called it the Paris Cup. It was put on by Cito, our friends at Wish to Fish, Danica, and all them. So we got some of the weigh-in and some of the winners over there. When we went over there, Kurt Jacobs and Danica and them handled that for us.
First place, your 2019 Parish Cup Redfish Championship brought to you by Cito New Orleans. Your 2019 champions with a weight of 15.62, winning $10,000, having their names inscribed on this perpetual cup. And I was going to try to pull it off, but I pulled the whole cup down. Uh-oh, who is it? Sean Rubies and April Ruby. Team all right, they're married. I'll put the check in hers. All right, guys. Let's give a big round of applause for your 2019 champions.
We fished the Parish Cup today, and we had an amazing day. Caught fish all day, and we just happened to catch the right ones. And thank God for us on the right fish. And good job to my husband for doing a great job scouting. He found the fish, so we worked really good as a team.
My name is Sean Rubes. Like she said, I've put a lot of time on the water the last few weeks to kind of pinpoint these fish, and we had a good game plan going in, and God willing, it all worked, and it all happened for us to win.
Also, while we was there, we got another Wish to Fish segment with somebody physically challenged out in the boat. So we'll be bringing you that later. So you stay tuned, Paradise, Louisiana. Catacai Rodeo last week, we had funerals. I didn't make it. But thanks to John Balance. John Balance sent us a bunch of pictures, and some of the other ones, Rudy and them sent us some pictures. You know more about the Catacai Rodeo than I do, but it was just another great success, right?
Look, great success. It's a well-run tournament with a bunch of fun, engaged people. So you had some great fish come in. The Valencianos weighed a bunch of big cobia, a bunch of big mangroves. You had
both to the record. He told me, Mr. Rudy said, it'll never be broke. We won't even break it.
Well, who knows? They
averaged over 11 pounds. You know, they had 3 of them at 13 pounds.
Oh, it was absolutely wild. But then you also had Charles Gordon win it. And then a lot of kids went home with rod and reel. We're a sponsor of the tournament as well. It's a great deal. I know y'all have plenty of shots thanks to John Balance, but a lot of fun. If you haven't ever fished it next year, be on the lookout for it. It's a great tournament.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one. It's a big one. And talking about tournaments, while I'm talking about Catacai, Jesuit Alumni Rodeo coming up this weekend, so they'll be over there, and the weigh-in's going to be at the football field. So you can go to their website, and it's a popular one, but I hate to say it, guys, there's a lot of alumni rodeos, but none of them like Catacai. You know why? Same thing we're talking about Swole Fest. Volunteers, people, the heritage people going there, alumni, not forgetting where they come from. And then not only, if you're alumni, you're going to bring somebody from another school just to show them how it's done. So congratulate y'all guys, Catacai. Some of my good friends, like I said, Ed Sexton, that was his grandson, there was that big trout. Brad Zito, them always pressing, him and David Olin always fish together. And Lil Dijon, you know, he got a lot of my godchildren in his family. Lewis and them are fishing it. and all these guys that support it. So congratulations to Calicut Rodeo. The East Ascension Sportsman League supposed to have Terry Malone Memorial Rodeo was supposed to be last week. Is one of them you talking about this? They were canceled, and I don't know when they're going to do it. But she also told me, Ms. Stringer said, remind you, we got our kids at the end of July. They got their kids rodeo coming up over there.
Look, one other thing coming up this weekend is the new Billfish tournament at Hurricane Hole this weekend. So be on the lookout for that. It's something brand new to the circuit, but from what I understand, it's going to be a packed house.
I wonder if Crystal has something to do with that, working that.
She's doing a good job down there.
Let me remind y'all, you know, I read the paper, I read the Sportsman magazine, I do what I can, and sometimes even without y'all, I want to give you the news. But the best way to get news or an event is 3 weeks out, you send me your flyer, email me your flyer, Gary@ParadiseLouisiana.com. We'll show it. Not only that, you remind me every Sunday night, when I script, and we'll talk about it until the event. And you got a big winner, a couple pictures, send it to us after it's over. We'll cover it the best we can. And believe me, a lot of people want to know what's going on.
Fishing report.
Well, I got some more bass reports. You know, we got two. Yeah, I gotta holler. Congratulations to Steve Fontana and Gene Andre. They did a great job again. You know, they come in the top 5. So they done wrapped up the team title. I mean, you know, the team title of the year. That's the Boomer Shoots Memorial Tournament. They fished in Henderson this week. That's one of the fishing reports that's been coming from Henderson. And then as high as the water is, that water gets up against them levees, and it gets in them yellow flowers and everything, and a lot of fish are being caught, big bass. You know, they're looking for a place. They spawned early. Sometimes that cold water will slow them down, and these guys are catching some nice stringers. So this is the Henderson winners right here. Wayne Major, Shannon Fairchild. They had 13.24. Second was Mark Angel and Damon Keeley. I hope they didn't misspell that, because I don't want to sound stupid, but it ain't Kelly, it's Keeley.
It would be the first
12.4. You know. All right. Fourth was Brother Pusho and Tanner. I messed up and went out. Third was Brett Sellers and Jason Pusho with 11.75, and this is how close they were. Fourth was Brother Pusho and Tanner with 11.65. Steve Fontana and Gene Andre were fifth with 11.63. 2/100th of an ounce or a pound, whatever you want to call it. Big bass, Basil Scalise and Mike Scalise, Michael Scalise, 3.78. So that's that tournament. And then the False River, still going on and still catching fish. And I got almost like a godchild. First place was Quentin Capo and Jeffrey Rafferty. They had 9.48. Second place was Rudy Smith and Mike Stevens with 7.80. Big bass was Trey Alamon and Charles Mullins. They send in the pictures. Sometimes I don't get them to Chris right, but I think that we got all the pictures of all these rodeos and come through. Let me say that name again. Rafferty?
Works for me.
Come on, you're supposed to know all this.
Ooh, no, I'm a redneck from Monroe. I don't know how to say a lot of these things.
Jeremy Rafferty. We got it right. Let me see if I'm missing anything, and that's it. When we come back, we're going to have the Abu Garcia, Berkeley Abu Garcia fishing report.
Benny's Unlimited Wash Club memberships start at $14.99 a month. Wash, rinse, and repeat every day. Join Benny's Unlimited Wash Club at one of Benny's 7 locations.
There's no better way to cool down this summer than with a delicious thirst-quenching Polar Pop Cup from Circle K. The Polar Pop Cup is the coolest way to beat the heat. Fill your Polar Pop Cup up with the flavors you crave and crushed or cubed ice. Nothing stays cold longer, so you can stay refreshed all day long. Stop in Circle K today for an ice-cold Polar Pop Cup. Polar Pop Cup, only at Circle K. Take it easy.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. Berkeley, Abu Garcia Fishing Report. Red, we're going to start freshwater. You know, you ain't had time out there, you and your star people running like that, but you know, you come from a freshwater area, and all those rivers are full right now, but they're just the enclosed bodies of water. From Monroe, Shreveport, and all those areas over there, Toledo Bend. Now, Toledo Bend been catching a lot of sac-a-lait, a lot of brim, a lot of fish, a lot of bass, but the weather's been awful. Our good friends over there, Mooney Bastrome, went over and spent 3 or 4 days. He got out, caught 8 one day, and the weather just wreaked havoc on him for 3 days. You know, you get your vacation, you go over there. The best thing going right now, some of these camps, the piers go out in deeper water, and they're catching sac-a-lait in deeper water. You know, I'm talking about often, you don't have to get out in the waves and get beat up, and they're fishing off them piers and catching fish. So you look that up, and anytime you want to report, you can go to Lake Country, and you go to their website, and they got fishing reports all over Toledo Bend. Lake Concordia, Lake St. John, you know, Lake Bruin, all those lakes right now, there's still people catching fish right now. The brim is starting to move in on the beds. False River, they're catching brim, they're catching catfish. Now, Old River is sky high. I don't know what's going to be happening in Old River yet. You know, the water's just, we told you we're going to open it up on the 7th and then the 9th, and now all of a sudden, it's suspended. We don't know what's going to happen. They're still getting rain up in Arkansas. The rivers are flooded all the way up. So we're not the only one been fighting these floods. We need to say a prayer again and ask God, you know, okay, God, I know you ain't going to send us nothing we can't handle, but it's getting tough right now. So False River, the catfish, people in traps, people with night crawlers, people with any kind of bait you want to do it. You want to do it on a jug line or whatever. False River, noodles. False River is catching catfish. Same thing in Verret. Verret and Henderson and them, they still got a lot of no-wake zones. You got to be careful. Down in Bar Black, I'm hearing reports coming in. Now they got the boards in place too. Some of that water is getting out. You might be able to go. Just check. Call your local sheriff office. Find out where you at, where you can fish. Henderson again, I told you. You know, you can put in under the interstate. You run as far as you can west. Get up against the levee in Henderson and find out clear water. I'm here. They're catching sac-a-lait and Beulah Rose. And in the backwater and Beulah Rose, people are catching sac-a-lait, you know, catching shiners or jigs. The Zalmas still. I passed, I don't know what tournament, I passed yesterday coming in, and they had their way in. There were boats all over the Highway 90, right there at the Zalmas. I think it was the Mafia tournament. It was one of the tournaments, you know. They didn't send it to me, so I didn't report it, but if I wouldn't have been so hurried and so tired, I might have stopped and got some of that, but we couldn't have used it with all the stuff we got. The Zalmas, I told you, sac-a-lait, bass, and brim, especially chinkapin, shell crackers, lake runners, whatever you want to call them, are doing that. And that's a freshwater report. Do you have any freshwater report?
No.
No camp.
All of mine is a lot further south.
Let's go. You ready? We're going to go south. You want to go first? You want to go offshore? You go to offshore. I'm going to save it to last. Because I know at the way in, and you've seen a few boats that went out there and got beat up, but they still caught some fish.
Look, the fish are there. The red snapper are plentiful. The mangroves, we're seeing bigger mangroves than we have, you know, but not just the Valencianos, but we had a couple of big mangroves weighed in at Swole Fest. They're out there. The dolphin are showing up. We had some good ones caught. I saw some caught at the Mississippi Billfish Tournament showing up. So. And the cobia too, so we're in that 60-pound range. So offshore, as long as the wind and the waves cooperate, everything that you're looking for is there.
Reports come from Venice, same thing. I've seen some beautiful tuna come in.
We had
but they got beat up.
Everybody got beat up this weekend for sure.
90-something pound tuna one.
Yeah, we had a 97-pound tuna at Swole Fest, and that was in really rough seas. That came off Blue Line, Brent Bankston's boat. But you know they're there. It's just a matter of getting to them. But, you know, I think the forecast this weekend is looking 1,000 times better this year, this weekend than last. So
snapper. I know people had trouble getting to the mangrove because the snapper was doing it, but they had a bunch of snapper stringers coming in to remind people too that the other snappers that can bring your limit up. You can't just catch 2 snappers. Over there at Chris Moran and them, they have been eating those
the beeliners
up. That's what.
But also keep in mind, for red snapper, it's 3-day weekends going on right now. Make sure you have your offshore landing permit and you report accordingly. And then if you're on a guide boat, it's all day, every day of the week. But make sure you're following the law, following wildlife and fisheries procedures, because we're still in that EFP, so we want to.
And you can buy your license. Your last year's license ends June 30th, so you can buy your new license right now to cover the whole year. So don't forget to buy your license. That was a news report we didn't need to do, but that's important news. And then the landing permit. If you're computer illiterate like I am, I tried to sit in and get my landing permit. What I do, thank God, I know somebody over there. They call and they say, Mr. Gary, go ahead, tell me what you need, and they do it for me, because I get on there and I try to hit and go to this one, and I'm just a computer illiterate. I'm trying to get better, but a lot of people do it online. They do it on the way fishing on their phone. So it's really no excuse for not having your license or your permit.
Right, just get it done. I mean, that is bottom line. That way, thanks to the current administration, we're being able to fish as many days as we are, and this is one of the requirements that we got to do to keep fishing this many days during the summer. So, and then look on the inshore. Once again, if the weather participates, it's blockbuster, especially in the southeast kind of corner of the state. Cocotree is on fire, Grand Isle is on fire, and then you get far east into the Hopedale, Delacroix area. There, trout and redfish are plentiful. Saw a ton of flounder come in during Swole Fest, which was a really good sign, because everybody's been worried about it. So, now on the west side of the state, they're dealing with fresh water in Big Lake, as well as Sycamore Point in southwest Louisiana. It's going to take a while for those guys to get flushed out and start catching some fish.
I'm waiting to hear, though. I'm waiting to hear. But look, we'll go back to freshwater, because this was further down the Lake Fall Point. Rivers Machacha. You know how you like that Italian name? See, I can pronounce them because we had them in our family, Machacha. He Rivers fishing with Chess, his dad and them. Look at the size of these brim. These came from Lake Falls Point, Bird Island. Shoot. Now, if y'all know where that's at, people in that area, the southwest, they do it. And the bait was cricket. So
how many bird islands are in this state?
I don't know, like Cat Islands and all the other islands, but
it's right next to Helicopter Bay.
That's a private joke. Ed Sexton, he keep bringing it up. But look, cricket, talking about crickets, all these people coming in, you still know the hottest bait right now is live shrimp. Now, that boy that was fishing that kayak, that caught that 5-fish stringer that's over 25 pounds, went under the light. He said the biggest trout they caught in the rough water, but he had some good areas around the rocks. David Bro and them, and they were out there fishing. They couldn't catch nothing over 2 pounds during the day, but they were under the light. And the neighbor told him, he said, them fish under the light right now. He said, you can see them. The water was clear wet. He could see them. He said, I want to catch them in my kayak. The guy said, put his kayak in the water, went out there, used a live croaker, 5 fish, 25 pounds or something.
It was 24 and a half, and I mean, it was an impressive stringer. I mean, when he took it out of the ice chest, everybody went, whew.
He brought some attention on that last day. I think he got there, too, about 10 minutes before he closed. But it was, congratulations, that was a beautiful stringer. And he gave all the information. He was just as honest as he can be. He fished that kayak. He said he's caught bigger stringers, where they fishing tonight with them croakers. He's catch big trout. He's from Bay St. Louis, but he said he catches he's done caught some big stringers, but not in a kayak and not at night. So that did. Back in the old days, there are a lot of people wait at night when it gets good over there in Big Lake.
Oh, yeah.
They catch some monsters. In fact, we had a controversy one time during the Star Tournament when one of them fish was caught at night. Now, Island Marina, That's been my biggest source of news. They worried so much that people say, oh, we ain't going over there. We hear the lake's messed up. You don't have no water.
They're catching fish.
Redfish is crazy. Now and then, you're not getting too many reports on trout. Every now and then they'll find some pockets between there and Delacroix and there. They'll find some pockets and they'll catch trout. But the only trouble you had is you're catching so many fish. Some of them are undersized right now. But you can catch your limit of redfish and have some fun.
Go see Angie and Dave. It's a great place and a great group of folks.
Well, them captains right there, I want to thank them. I got to give them a shout out. In fact, I'm going with Clint DeAlmas on Wednesday with some guys from the Lake Charles area. I'm sorry, they come from the Lafayette area. They won that Dreams Come True fishing trip. So they come and fish with me this coming Wednesday in a couple of days. Clint DeAlmas is taking us. Drake Moribond, another one of Captain Andy Jones. I mean, look at these pictures. They are constantly bringing in redfish, drum, and again, flounder. Best bait been live shrimp under 4-horse cork. That's what they were selling me. But fresh shrimp is working also. Cocodrie. There's some topwater fish been coming from Cocodrie. Tell me what you said a couple things right now. A lot of people have been ignoring Cocodrie, but the guys you know and other people catching some beautiful trout.
I talked to Coon Pop that owns Trade Winds Marina, and it's easy and it's every morning and it's early. I mean, I talked to him at 8:15 on Friday morning. He was already done with trout and already caught a bunch of reds and was on his way home. I mean, it is good. The water is clean over there. They're not having a bunch of fresh water problems.
Next time.
And so it's go time.
Next time, Coon did TV shows. Mm-hmm. He promised me. 5 years they've been promising me. I guess he's scared of black cloud, but I want to go. I want to see a tarpon caught in a boat. Somebody, I want to film it. That is somebody else.
That would be fun. Look, Coon will be in my neck of the woods in Grand Isle starting soon when the tarpon show up. So I'll visit with him.
A good deal. Myrtle Grove, Captain Jody Donwas, still busting. He's running. He's in Myrtle Grove. He was a lot out of Empire Landing there, but by the way, the Empire Landing is open up right now.
You talking about Delta Marina?
Delta Marina.
Look, Mitch took it over, and from what everybody is telling me, it is running like a well-greased machine, back doing where it needs to be. So go visit them at Delta Marina. It's a Star Way station as well.
Yeah, Hopedale Marina, all them people right now, redfish and bass. Then again, I say, you find those clear pockets of water, you catch the tide just right, you can catch back a trout. Delacroix, do me a favor, call Jack Payne. I have never seen Jack will fail to help somebody or tell you where to fish, even when he do it. Now, if he's on fish and he got his guide service and you crowd him, better be careful. He gonna cuss you, you'll never get it. And then the last thing I got is offshore, and the rest of it, like I said, this is it. Watergate Fishing Report.
Get out, take your kids fishing, take your grandkids fishing. As long as the wind isn't really blowing, you're going to catch fish down here.
And make sure you got your store. Make sure you got your store. And before we leave, y'all know we got a governor's election coming up. And last time we had a governor's election, Paradise, Louisiana, Don Dubuque, Joe Macalusa, people from New Orleans paper, Todd Mason, people from Louisiana Outdoor Writers. We brought them in and asked them 6 questions, all different at different times. And they all let us know how versed they were on things that are going on outdoors. There's a lot of things going on right now. Controversial with land ownership, right-of-ways and canals. It's just a lot of things going on right now. Some people for diversions, some people are not. Okay, so there's some questions you can ask them. But in general, all 4 candidates, and by the way, I don't want to act dumb, but one of those candidates is my brother Eddie Rispone. They say blood runs thicker than water. But I've had conversation with all 4 of those candidates. Governor Edwards has been a friend, CCA and all the other things, and he's an outdoorsman. He fishes, he hunts. His outdoor legacy is in his whole family, and you think that. The way he votes when he was in the legislature. Definitely Ralph Abraham, another one. big outdoorsman, farmer, he did everything. So if you go on base, and the other guy's Landry, don't know a whole lot about him, but I know the family and them had landings in there. If you're going to base your election, you base it on policy, because I'm going to tell you what, you can't go wrong with any of those when it comes to outdoors. Don't forget to vote. Don't forget to vote, register and vote. Go get your star ticket. I'm Gary Risponi. I'm glad I ain't by myself this way. And Rad, thank you for all you do. Good
Glad to
luck,
have you.
CCA. We got a great summer coming up. We'll be bringing you star reports back and forth all summer.
This is your weekly trip to paradise, Louisiana style, with Gary Risponi. Paradise, Louisiana is brought to you by Circle K, Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change, Louisiana Fish Fry Products, Demco, CCA Louisiana, and the CCA Louisiana Star Tournament, and by Farm Bureau Insurance.